Welcome to the Outdoor Adventure Lifestyle Podcast, where we dive into inspiring stories, thrilling adventures, and expert insights from leaders and legends across the outdoor adventure community. Whether you're an avid hiker, passionate camper, or adventure traveler, each episode brings you up close and personal with guests who've lived it, explored it, and made it their mission to share their experiences with you. Let's get after it. Hello again, everyone. On this episode, I'm talking with software industry luminary and fly fisherman Tim Huckaby. Outside of the technology world, Tim's true loves are family, spectator sports, and the outdoors. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you, Rick. Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation. A lot of fly fishing combos, and we were just spitballing before the mic got opened up about high school football. We may bring that up a little bit.
I'd love to. We can talk about high school football. I still love it. Yep.
I do too. Yeah, it beat me up pretty good, but I would play tomorrow if I could.
Yeah, I had 50 less years on this body, but yeah.
So let's kick it off with the Huck Hopper. What's the story behind that fly, and how did you end up?
We can talk about the Huck Hopper because
let's start there. And how did it end up in the hands of guides around the world? That's quite a story. I worked for Umpqua for a few years, so I know what that's all about.
So let me just start it off by, there's a technique in there that I did not invent. I totally cheated it from the great Charlie Craven.
Okay. Charlie's a great guy. Yeah, I know Charlie.
My fly tying mentor.
Shout out to Charlie.
I've never got to meet him, but I own every book he's ever done. He does a monthly video I just adore. Anyways, he had in his Charlie Boy Hopper, there was an article in a fly fishing magazine a very long time ago. I can't even remember which magazine it was, probably Fly Fisherman. And he talked about how when he was guiding, he needed a fly that was durable, easy to tie, but most importantly, it was a guide fly. You couldn't sell it in the shop because it was ugly on top. It only looked good from underneath, the way the trout see it. And I just I could totally relate to that. I don't need a pretty fly from a shop. But he had this technique where he folds the foam over the eyelet of the hook and pulls the eyelet through. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to show you. You can go to YouTube and see how I tie it. But in any event, that set me off on a number of prototypes because I was fishing the Upper Kern River in the wild section, which that's where I guide.
Oh, wow, cool.
Fishing it a lot. And because that river or that section, the wild section, is not at significant altitude, it has just a ton of grasshoppers. And these giant Kern River rainbows go wild over them. Yeah,
I river guided up there.
Okay, there you go. So that's a nasty torrent of death if you're on a kayak.
Yeah. It can be.
Oh, God, yeah. So in any event, I started playing around and I started looking at the naturals, and some of them, and if you ever seen, not many fly fishermen have seen a grasshopper that's actually hit the water splayed out and helpless. They have giant wings. Yeah. And once the water hits them, they're doomed. And as little kids, we threw grasshoppers in the river and watched them, of course. But when those wings are splayed out, I started noticing how big the wings are, number one, and then the different colors of wings. And then did a little scientific research, and there's 30 species of grasshoppers on that stretch. So I started trying to imitate it with Charlie Craven, with those 3 points that Charlie Craven made in mind, meaning I don't care if this thing's ugly on top. So the Huck Hopper has this huge elk wing, of elk hair, but it's foam, and I tied them huge because the naturals up at the Kern are enormous, especially by the end. We're talking like 2-aught enormous, not size 2, 2-aught enormous. They're 4 inches long. Yeah. So I started tying these battleships basically to hold up really heavy nymphs because in the summertime, when the river warms, the fish go down, especially midday, into the channels real deep. Yeah. So I started tying these battleships, but the bigger I tie these things, the more the Kern River rainbows would take them on top. And pretty soon, I just stopped the nymphing thing completely. So that was the genesis of the Huck Hopper. It's ugly. I have fished them all over the world, and I've been lucky in my travels like you. I've been all over the world and fished all over the world. And it catches bass, it catches largies, smallmouths.
I bet the hoppers, it's a classic. How many times do you fish a hopper? A lot.
And the technique, I swear I could write a book. No one would read it, but I could write a book on the Huck Hopper platform because you can tie them tiny. You can tie them size 18. This foam.
right.
with the segmented body. And with a little bit of change in shape and wing size, you really can imitate anything. I've imitated October caddis with them.
Yeah.
But the hilarious ones are the big battleships, the size
And how
3
did
long.
how did it end up in the hands of guides all around the world? Just because of
Well,
travels?
you've been fishing as long as I have, you tend to have guides as friends.
Yeah, gotcha.
I
Yeah.
learned guiding from guides, from
Right.
hiring guides. And you just develop these relationships. And I learned so much about guiding from the guides in Montana and Wyoming. I should casually mention that my son is a guide in Montana.
Oh, cool.
So I would, behind their back, if you're in the back of the boat, behind their back, I would take off the fancy chubby Chernobyl or whatever it is and put on a Huckaby. Because if there's someone in front, they're paying attention to the person in front. I'm sticking them pretty good, and eventually they'd notice.
Yeah.
What the hell is that thing?
Right.
So then I just started giving them out. And then because I worked at Microsoft on their first internet server product and their commerce server product, about, I don't know, a decade ago, I said, I should catch up and see how the technology is. I'll build an e-commerce site and I'll just put this Huckhopper up there and no one will ever buy it. And that's okay. I want to see if I could do it. So I did it. But I was also writing a lot at the time, especially about the Upper Kern River and how special it is on my website. And people started buying them.
Nice.
And then there's nothing worse than having a full-time job in technology, yet having to tie Huckhoppers at 3:00 in the morning for some poor guy who needs them FedExed for his trip. It's not a money maker for me. I do it because it makes people happy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, that's cool.
So, at certain points, it's been a hassle.
I'll bet.
People love them. They fish well everywhere. I can tie them in any. Yeah, meaning the San Diego Fly Fishing Club has a trip coming up to the Forks of the Kern. So I've been tying those things like crazy. I tied 3 dozen of them yesterday.
What a beautiful spot. I got to get back up there.
I love that place.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I totally lucked out. There's only 2 permits to guide in the Golden Trout Wilderness.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's changed since I guided years ago.
Yeah. So in the Forest Service is just
they're overwhelmed.
Not about issuing any more permits. And not that I really wanted to guide there, but I just stumbled backwards into one of the guys that holds one of the permits. And he's the Golden Trout Wilderness Pack Outfitters, the ones that take the mules into the backcountry.
That's the guys who took our rafts back in up there. Same guys.
Sweet. So Steve Day, great guy.
Yeah.
Just
probably a different guy back then, but yeah.
He's owned the business forever, and he's the only one in town. So maybe some of them that work for him. Anyways, I guide for him, so he put me on his permit, which is like, wow, that is so nice of you.
Yeah,
he's just a great old cowboy. I just did a guiding trip up above, if you know where this is, above Big Kern Lake. That is so far up.
Never been up there. Yeah,
that's the backside of Mount Whitney. It's just forever up there, and the river was still big. This is like
that's beautiful.
Ago.
Yeah. So many years on the Kern, and you fished all over the world. Is there a holy grail location?
Yeah, I get that question all the time. What's your favorite place to fly fish? And you probably have the same answer. Where I am right now.
That's it, pretty much. Yeah.
There are certain places I haven't been to yet that I'd love to fly fish. So they would be my holy grail. The places I have.
What's at the top of your list there?
Tasmania.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I've fished in New Zealand and Australia. New Zealand. Oh man. That's a magical place.
Yeah, I've never been there. I heard that's awesome. Yeah.
So let's be honest here. Let me be forthright. I've been lucky in my career that Microsoft has sent me all over the world. On every trip I would bring, and now I'm older, but on every trip I would bring either a snowboard or a fly rod.
Yeah.
So I fished some crazy places.
Yeah. Same thing for me. I got lucky too. I worked for Eagle Creek and camera bags and some other brands that got me to travel all over the place and got to do things all over the world, places that people just, oh man, it's amazing. And
at the time, I didn't think anything of it.
Right. Yeah.
Standing on the stage with Bill Gates, I never thought anything of it. I thought, everyone must do that.
Yeah. And so all that work, you're now a Sims, Corkers, and TFO pro. How'd you get involved with those brands? And
That's
your gear
solely
closet must be unbelievably like mine.
yeah, I've got a wife though. Yeah, you should see my man cave.
No bet.
Oh man, I have more fly tying stuff than God. You know this, when you become a guide, the manufacturers are more than happy to give you a guide discount on pro deals.
Yeah.
And the brands that I really liked, I just reached out to them, like Corkers. They're not the big game in town. The Corkers wading boots.
Yep. I know.
I
I'm blank on
adore
his name, but yeah, those guys are great.
I adore them. So
Yeah.
I just reached out and said, "Hey, I got up at the Forks of the Kern in the wild section of the Kern, and I just love your wading boots, but I really would love for you to make a lightweight backpacking boot. And here's how it needs to be different." So you develop these relationships, and now they sell the best backpacking boot out there for
They have
weight.
some cool footwear now across the board.
God,
Those casual things, those loafer things they launched a couple years ago, those are cool.
And then Sims waders. Sims is the powerhouse.
Yeah.
You can say negative things about them, I assume, but their waders, their guiding waders, are the best.
Yep.
So I reached out to them. They're like, absolutely. And Fish Pond makes great stuff. So I reached out to them. I really should motivate and reach out to some of the fly tying companies, because I spend a fortune. That's where I really spend a fortune.
Oh, they'd probably hook you up, and you could probably one of the tips. Maybe I shouldn't do this over the mic, but come up with your own fly, right? Your signature fly, tweak it, and maybe you've already got one, and try to get on as a signed tire on them guys, and they'll sell your fly for you. Have it.
Yeah, I've been tempted to do that because the Huckaby is proven, right?
Oh yeah, I'd call Umpqua tomorrow.
It would be.
When we hang up, call Umpqua.
It would be logical, and I certainly know a bunch of tires who have ultimately their flies have made it to the Umpquas of the world and things like that. Mm-hmm. There's just so much fun stuff to do. I can't get to it all.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and I got to work. So I'm still working. I'm still a CTO in a software company. So yeah, there's just not enough time in the day.
Not enough hours in the day. Yeah. So your son Mark's a stick living in Bozeman. What's it like sharing this fly fishing passion with your kids? It must be fun to go fishing with the family.
Yeah. The irony was one of my kids went to Boulder, never came back. The other one went to Montana. My son Mark really cut his teeth. We were talking about the Upper Owens earlier. He cut his teeth there, but he learned to be a very good fly fisherman on the Upper Kern because it requires some expertise.
It's unique.
They're just for a beginner to get a cast is is difficult. It's just so overgrown and it's dangerous. It's
a lot of places it's not really a cast; it's more of a flip.
Exactly. You got to know, and you got to know how to read the water because it's a granite-based mountain stream.
Oh, and you fall in up there, and it's the Forks of the Kern.
It's not good. Yeah. Especially in high flow. In any event, I can remember, I think I wrote a piece about it. I turned to him and said, he couldn't have been more than 15 years old. And I said, my God, you've become a good fly fisherman. And I shouldn't have said that. He took that to heart. And just because you're a good fly fisherman doesn't mean you're a great fly fishing guide. You got to tell you got to be able to deal with people and have fun. I think you need to know the bugs and what's hatching.
Absolutely. You got to know the whole thing. Yeah. Because you never know what question, as a guide, you never know what questions are going to come up from, okay, I'm going home to LA tomorrow. What's the weather in LA? Hell, I don't know. We're on the Kern River. How am I going to know the weather in LA?
Or what's the weather going to be in the Kern River? We'll never know till we get there because the Sierra just dictates its own weather, and there's no way to work out.
You got to be able to answer all kinds of questions.
Yeah. So he's a great kid, and he worked at a couple lodges in Montana, who I happen to know the owner of. Just great places. One's on the Stillwater, one's on the Clark Fork. Cool. One's way up in Missoula by St. Regis, and then way down by Bozeman is the Stillwater River. Yeah, and he's just a good kid, so people love him.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what it takes.
I have my joke is I have the classic overachiever kid. That's my eldest. She's a doctor in emergency in Denver.
Wow.
And then I have the fly fishing kid. Obviously,
every bit is accomplished, but in a little different activity.
Financially, there's really no rich fly fisherman. I don't think so.
Never happens.
If money's your goal, you're not going to go be a fly fishing guy.
If you do anything outdoors, that's why I'm doing a podcast. All the outdoor stuff I did.
There you
A couple
go.
of brands I did pretty well, but yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're not holding a rod, you're on a mountain bike, snowboard, out running. What drives your engine these days? What activity do you gravitate to?
Well,
Just all, just a little
not the
bit of
mountain
everything.
biker I used to, but I still used to be, but I still do it. I'm not the runner we used to be because off camera, when we started this, we're talking about how beat up our bodies are. But I still run, hike 4 or 5 times a week. I still need to lose 20 pounds, but I'm pretty fit. I've been in software for forever. I know a ton of people in software. The people I worked with at Microsoft as a young man in the, what was that, late 90s are now running that company.
Mm-hmm.
The question I always get, I assume you're going to ask it, is there a relationship between software or artificial intelligence and fly fishing? And I always say, absolutely no. I fly fish to get away from, it's the only place where I don't think about software.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I was thinking about what a hypocrite I am because I went into Microsoft's version of ChatGPT, which is called Copilot, generative AI. And a buddy of mine asked, he said, hey, I'm going to the Big Wood River in Idaho. Can you help me out? I'm like, I've never fished it, but I went to essentially generative AI and asked it how to fish it at this time of year, what bugs are hatching. And instead of doing internet searching, having to click through a bunch of links, it just summed it up for me.
I use ChatGPT all the time. It's amazing.
So I don't internet search anymore. And no one should internet search anymore. They should use one of these generative. Being that 1 out of 10 times it's wrong. I learned that a big ass green drake hatch goes on at the end of July on the Big Wood.
Oh, cool.
So I told this guy, make sure you have green drake patterns.
Yeah, there you go.
So there is, I think, if the sport's going to be ruined, that is the sport of fly fishing. It's going to be by some genius Japanese engineer that invents a robotic fly, like a caddis, with a servo motor. So you don't cast it, you just press go, and it takes your line out on the river and dances like a caddis.
Knows to stay out of the weeds and out of the trees.
Yeah, and it's cost effective.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't use it a lot, software in the fly fishing industry, but I did find myself a little bit hypocritical by using it. There's this negative stigma with AI. The stuff I do is all for good.
Same. Yeah. I use it all for research and things on the podcast, and I'm creating a couple new programs to pitch to destination marketing folks and stuff. And it's
really cool.
It's amazing.
Great.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Great. Yeah, in my companies that I'm now out of now, sold my interest out of now, but we were building AI software a decade ago to solve some really tricky cancer and stuff like that. That's what AI is really good at, saving lives.
Pretty amazing.
And so my current company is video production, professional video production, say a Nike commercial. Let me give you for instance, before AI, a Nike commercial would have cost $500K and taken 6 weeks to produce.
Right.
So with our software, and it's not all AI, and there are humans involved, it's 3 days at a fraction of that cost. The AI in it, though, helps with the script, storyboard, shot list. Makes sense. But on the editing side, it helps with AI can look into video content. Like you could look into any raw video content and summarize what's in there without you having to watch it.
Wow.
So not that weddings are a target market for us. If they were, you could say, all right, generate a video minimize the mean grandma to 5%. The bride and groom have to be their faces have to be at least in 40% of the video, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Give me the best 5 shots of the cake cutting. Oh, that means user contributed. Everyone at the reception would be contributing content from their iPhones.
That's amazing.
You probably know, Rick, that iPhones are producing movies in Hollywood now.
Oh yeah, I've known it for a while. Yeah,
it's amazing little device.
Yeah. I've been a Mac guy when I went to get my master's at BYU, one of the requirements was to buy a Mac. And it's been one of the best investments I've ever made. I've been a Mac guy since that was 1983.
Wow, you are before your time.
Yeah.
I once sat in a meeting with Steve Jobs, but it has the F word, so I can't tell that story. All my Bill Gates stories have the F word in it, too.
I'll bet. I
can't tell any of those either.
Yeah. Let's keep going. You're deep in AI, mixed reality, computer vision. We talked a little bit about one of the interesting ways that tech is creeping into the outdoors. What about like things like smart waders or any of that kind of stuff? You in that?
Oh God, I hope we don't do that.
Fly rods that just they can tell the weather and they know to let's jack this cast up a little bit, Sonny. Windy.
It's funny, you're the first person that's ever brought that up to me, yet I know a little bit about it. A good fly rod is already $1,200.
I know. Fly rod riding waders. You're in it for a few $1,000.
Being that said, there's a really cool company that I sit on the advisory board for called Infraway. And they do infrared heat for professional athletes. It's this belt you wear and it warms up your back. It's amazing.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Oh, totally. The infraway.com. Amazing company. Huh. But they have a patent on this, what do you call it? Gyroscope type tech. So they can actually tell you, if you put their tech into a golf club, they can tell you that, how your swing path is and what's wrong and shit like that. Well, you're not seeing me because this is audio only, but you could do that. You could have it fix your cast. Absolutely. Yeah. Or if you're having a tailing loop problem, which I tend to do because
But it's not, you can do it, but nobody's doing it yet.
It's
possible.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Orvis, right?
Yeah, somebody like that. Yeah.
It's not going to be Winston. It's going to be Orvis.
Yeah, Farbank might pull it off, but yeah.
Farbank, yeah. That's Simon Gosser.
Farbank,
great guy. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so maybe, I hope not, but maybe
it's probably going to happen.
Golfers, and I've been a bad golfer my entire life, but they have these AI devices that look at their swing. Computer vision. The last decade, most of my career in AI has been in computer vision. That's where software analyze what it sees, and they have these retail costed devices that look at their way.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
It's not in the club itself.
Right.
So it would make sense for Orvis or Farbank to make one of those devices and look at your cast. It totally would make sense.
Yeah, get that in the shop. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not waiting enough. You're waiting about weight with a T. Your load on top, your weight is about 40% of what it should be. Longer.
Exactly. Yeah. Slow it down. Yeah. That's the number one mistake.
That would make sense. It's just how tech creeps into the outdoor industry and a lot of.
If you start something, I want some credit.
God, can you imagine the internet bullying I'd get if I started a company that brought?
I don't know. If you brought it like that, don't take the tech to the river, but use the tech to make what you do on the river better. Like you're talking about in the fly shop.
I'm tempted to start another company and I need another hobby like a hole in the head or another job like a hole in the head. But Rick, if you're up for it, I could probably raise the money to do it. And the technology is there. It wouldn't be that hard to build a swing analysis device.
Yeah, it'd be like the golf club.
Yeah, exactly. But this would be AI driven because it would have to pull frames out of the raw video content at a significantly fast level, but not as fast as a golf club. A golf club was like 100 miles an hour, something like that, something crazy like that, 80 miles an hour. Yeah. But a fly rod, you're going fairly slow, so it could be wildly effective.
Yeah. There you go.
Can you imagine? Now you got me excited. Can you imagine analyzing a double haul?
Yeah, no, it makes sense for all of that, and to do it in the fly shop.
It kind of does, but would anybody buy it? We could build it, Rick, but would anybody buy it?
I think some of the, like you say, Orvis would probably buy it to put it in all their stores. I don't know if any of the independents would, because it'd probably be a pretty heavy expenditure. But maybe the rod brands would want to buy it and put it in the shops, right?
Or do
the line guys
stores in those fly fishing shows. Yeah, not a bad idea.
All right, there you go. You heard it first.
All right, we're going to start this company.
Cut me out of the loop.
You're in. You have to do all the hard stuff. I'll just do the tech. You do the part. I don't care about that.
I'll hit the road again. Yeah, I've done that before.
Hey there, Adventure Crew. Just a quick break to let you know you can be a part of the Outdoor Adventures Lifestyle Podcast in a big way. Each week, over 4,000 outdoor lovers, campers, hikers, and adventure travelers listen to the show. It's not a Joe Rogan-sized audience, but it's the right audience for you. You can talk about your brand, product, outdoor destination, or a new project launching soon. You could be in their ear holes every week. If you've got something our audience needs to hear about, let's talk. It's a great way to connect with our active outdoor adventure followers who live for the outdoors just like we do. Drop me an email, rick@ricksays.com. Let's team up and get your brand, product, destination, or new project in front of your people today. Now let's get back to the show. So speaking of all this tech and stuff, how do you balance let me start that question again.
I know what your question is. You don't need to ask it.
How do you personally balance being so plugged into tech with your love for the unplugged outdoors?
And I'm not going to pretend to tell you that my wife is of 36 years, college sweetheart,
cool. Good for you.
is totally happy about me going for a month of camping and fishing in Wyoming every summer.
Right.
And it's not because she misses me. It's because of all the shit that doesn't get done that she has to do. Pay the bills and all that while I'm gallivanting around the
plane.
Yeah. So it's hard. I couldn't pull off the lifestyle I have now at a young age. Without a doubt, I could not. You just wouldn't be with your kids. My kids are old. My kids are 30 and 32. I begged them for time, especially my eldest. She just never has time for me. I wouldn't say that I'm good at balance, to tell you the truth. I'm not obsessive compulsive, but I think you've got an idea that I am obsessive. If I want to learn something, I don't half-ass it.
Yeah. No, I don't sense that. I just know that all of us that are in love with the outdoors, typically it takes us away a lot. That's probably why I'm still single. I've never been married because I've always been, when I was guiding or when I was a sales rep, a sales manager, whatever, I was never home. I'm home now more than I've ever been home because I do the podcast from home. But I think it's just, how do you balance that home life and away life? And
it's
tough.
Obviously, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I'm not gone all the time, but I do go in stretches. Honestly, what's helped me a lot, because I'm still working, is as much as I hate the guy that owns the company, I have a Starlink. I hold meetings from 10,000 feet in a tent.
Starlink's amazing. Yeah, I had one. I got rid of it, but I had one. Yeah.
There's no competition for it.
None. None.
We have this company in Carlsbad called Viasat, and they were going to be the big competition. But
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, they spent like $2.5 billion to put a satellite up there, and the antenna didn't deploy. So it's basically, a brick in space. And the only way to fix it is with a human. So that was going to be big competition for Starlink. But the device is magical. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you can find the power, so obviously they have to use the sun to power the battery.
They have that new little one, the Dishy, I think they call it.
And I've got a buddy, I don't know if Peppermint Falls Ranch, which is fairly close to where closer to you than me, up on the Upper Kern, but outside the Golden Trout Wilderness. Yeah. Kind of a high-end lodge type place that you can hike to the Upper Kern in 20 minutes.
Right.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. That's cool.
Anyway, one of the managers there carries one of those in a backpack. Like he goes down to the river.
Well, they're not that heavy either. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Right?
He goes down the battery's not that heavy for that particular unit. He goes down to the river and he does live drone type stuff.
Cool.
There's tech mixing up with the outdoors again.
That would be cool to go up there and do an episode with him up there.
Here's what I'm not going to build, which I could easily build, is computer vision tech to send a drone to spot fish rising. That would be That would be fairly easy to do. Yeah. In Mexico, I know they do it in saltwater. It's illegal, thank God, in the U.S. But that's where you really spoil the sport.
That'd wreck it. And that wouldn't be good.
If you used it to fish. If you used it just to observe them, it would be cool. But if it told you then, okay, walk upstream 400 yards and look at this riffle. That's
where the fish are.
There's a 16-inch Kern River rainbow feeding right now. Hurry. That'd be awful. That'd be awful.
So you've got decades of experience in both tech and on the water. Is there one thing you wish you could tell your 30-year-old self about either one of those pursuits?
Skip the bobber completely. Focus on
That's great.
because if you don't throw the bobber, then you got to focus on the bugs that are hatching. Your cast will be dramatically better.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get like us two old guys, I don't want to come off arrogant. I can put a 40-foot cast into a 2-inch window with a size NT dry fly or a Huckaby or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the younger Tim wanted to catch so many fish. I wouldn't even look at the river. I'd go straight to the bobber.
Yeah.
Because it's so effective. And now we have that stupid 10-cara thing where people are just raking the river so that they can catch as many fish as possible.
Yeah.
I would tell a younger Tim, focus on the bugs and focus on your dry fly skills. And it's okay to get skunked.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not always there you're there to catch fish, but every time I've been outside to do whatever it was, going to ski or catch fish or run a river, whatever it was, being outside was the thing.
Yeah.
We ran the upper forks of the Kern and it was wild and crazy and we had a great time, but just being out there. It could have been flat water. I wouldn't care.
Yeah. That's another component of it. Appreciate the experience.
Right. It's wonderful to be out there.
Part. That's why I do backpacking guiding trips in the Upper Kern, because if you're sleeping out in the wilderness, there's just the whole experience is so much more intimate, and you tend to focus so much more on things that aren't fly fishing.
Right.
That deer that just walked by, or why the heck is that golden eagle sitting up there, or hey, was that a bear? What
or
type
you
of
even a lot of
nightmare
times
is that?
you've probably done this. You're walking in or walking out and you're ruminating through things in your head, and all of a sudden whatever you were ruminating on after about a mile on the trail all of a sudden goes away. Yeah, I solved that problem and I'm done with that, or other things. It's
so true. I have, in all honesty, the complicated parts of technology in my life, many I have solved by standing in a river and just thinking.
Waving a stick.
Waving. That's my line. Waving a stick. Standing in a river, waving a stick.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So you've been on stage with giants like Gates and Ballmer. How do you, and now you're helping kids tie knots on the riverbank. What's more nerve-wracking? Keynotes or casting lessons?
I casually mentioned it. Early in my career, I just didn't understand or appreciate how special that was. I worked on some product teams at Microsoft, and because I'm a social guy, and back then, technologists typically were not.
Yeah.
Geek
no,
was
they were nerdy. Yeah, nerdy.
Yeah, geek and nerd were very negative terms.
Yeah.
And I was catching salmon just 18 minutes from the Microsoft campus.
Wow, cool.
It was always like, even though I was very junior in the organization, by the way, software back then was built with 2,500 people.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked on the extended Windows NT team server. Yeah, that's 2,500 people. And I was low on the totem pole. Now we build it with a handful of people. But in any event, when it came time to speak in front of an audience, even my boss's boss would say, "Oh, make Huckaby do it." He seems like he'd like to do it. Right. So I was just, as a young man, forced to do this on stage thing. And I was never nervous because I was formally trained by Microsoft on how to make a good presentation in front of the audience. And then all these opportunities for doing demos with the execs came around. But I should tell you, a Bill Gates keynote back then was like making a movie. Totally scripted, totally rehearsed. Everything that came out of my mouth was on script. I once had one of the producer people say, "You've got your demo, you've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to do this demo. If you wander 10 seconds either way, you'll never work in this industry again."
Wow.
And just laden with F words too.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, oh God, whatever. And in fact, Bill Gates once asked me on one of the big keynotes, I don't know if you know what .NET is, but the launch .NET, I had the ASP.NET demo, the flagship demo in the launch of ASP.NET.
Wow. 5,000
people in the audience, that type of thing, live, broadcast around the world. And Gates walked up with all his sycophants behind him in backstage, and there's Hollywood people everywhere. And he beelines right for me and my buddies, the 3 demos.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey guys, you guys nervous?" And I'm like, "Nervous?" we've been practicing this for 3 straight days. I can't wait till this is over. And he laughed and he said, I have to do the F word here. I'll just pretend. He said, yeah, if I have to do the effing digital effing decade speech one more effing time, I'm going to quit this business. And we each were crying, laughing. That was the human side of Bill Gates.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the producers came up and pulled him off us and made him stand by himself and sulk. And
they probably had to keep tight reins on him. Just to go talk to anybody. Yeah.
Now, Ballmer was different. Ballmer just loved screw ups because he loved to wing it. And part of the training for a Ballmer keynote was, hey, Ballmer's going to say something to you off script. And all you say is, that's right, Steve. And you keep going. Don't let him derail you.
That's great. Yeah. That's pretty good.
There's all the Microsoft execs at that time. I don't know Satya Nadella well. I know him. We're not buddies. But
all those guys are that way. Every owner of any company I've ever worked for has always been a little eccentric and a little... You never knew. You can never know what's coming out of their mouth next. They're either going to chew you out or tell you a joke.
And honestly, their lives aren't as rich as ours.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, they're worse because there's
even Steve Jobs, who was not a nice person, really regretted the way he ran his life at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Bill Gates does a lot of philanthropy now. He's probably trying to fix his life, but man, tough.
Well, when you get that big, it's a different animal.
Being that said, I got to tell you this. I do an annual Software Guys trip in Montana, one of the lodges I just mentioned. And it is big guns from Microsoft. And these guys just adore this trip. They're all amateur fly fishers. They only fly fish once a year with Montana's best guides on the oar, where they say cast left 10 feet. And these guys coming up here in a couple months, and these guys just love the break from software. They just love it.
Yeah.
The whole outdoors thing, just what we've been talking about. These guys' lives are so complicated. One of them has over 60,000 employees in his org.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine?
I can't imagine.
It's terrible. Yeah. And he just loves this trip because he goes dark.
Yeah.
Literally.
Everybody I've ever known that has even quote unquote demanding jobs in the outdoor industry, as silly as that sounds, they're out there if you're a president of a company or whatever. And they all just the same way. They couldn't get away, and when they got away, they were just different people. I'm really good friends with the founders of Eagle Creek, and they were the same way. And we at work, they were working, they were on the job, but away.
Different people,
trips, fishing trips. It's great, yeah. Let's have a little fun as we wrap up here.
Okay.
What's your favorite piece of fly gear under $100?
Favorite piece of fly gear under $100, which is not a fly or a rod.
Under $100 could be.
Am I allowed to name brands here? The Katadyn, Katadyn bee-free water filter.
Katahdin, isn't it? Katahdin?
I don't know how you pronounce it, but that little device is magical.
Yeah.
Backpacker Magazine Product of the Year a few years back. Now they have competitors because probably their patent ran out or something. But it allows you to drink any Sierra water. Just drink it cold. You don't have to push filters or suck out of a straw. You just fill the container, you just drink, and you throw away the rest because it'll get warm.
We'll link to that in the show notes for sure.
Oh, I just love that thing. And back in the old days, you have all this A16 experience. Back in the old days, it was a $20 for the $20 for the 1 liter thing.
Yeah.
And now they're 3 times as much, but still worth every penny.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
They have these little straw things that you take. You just dip the straw in there.
Yeah, but still, I'm 63 years old. I don't want to dip a straw into the river and bend over.
Or take it to get a jug and put the water in the jug and dip the straw in the jug.
Fair enough. But, and now Katadyn has 3 liter and 5 liter version of this. So you just bucket up the water, hang it up a tree, and you have drinkable water. Now you wouldn't use this device in toilet water in India, but it gets the giardia, which typically in the Sierras, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one you want to avoid.
They've always been one of the leaders in that water filtration game.
Yeah, and they do all this charity stuff. When there's a hurricane or something like that around the world, they're the ones that fly out there with all their and hand out all their devices.
Yeah, they're good guys.
I wish I knew personally some of the founders of that company. I do not. I just love their product.
I don't think I do either. Yeah, I've been around for so long, since I was 16.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for listeners wanting to get into fly fishing?
Hire a guide.
Great advice. Yeah.
You know, or be obsessive like me. I learned how to cast from YouTube. I'm of that generation. Not that I wasn't hiring guides. I was. My first guide I ever hired, Tom Lowe from Sierra Drifters.
Tom Lowe. I know Tom.
What a great guy. And his wife, Jill. I'm friends with them now. And of course, they're retired and way up north by Eagle Lake. But when I was a young man, I hired him because he spoke at the local fly fishing club. Yeah. That's the other thing. Join the local fly fishing club. I'm the president of the San Diego Fly Fishers Club. Mm-hmm. You would think that's 10 old white guys.
I'm sure it's huge.
It's enormous. And it's a pain in the ass job. It's a labor of love for me. 350 active members. We do over 200 events a year. And it's $40 to join. And if you don't pay your $40, we don't care. Just show up and see. But my point, or drawing back to Tom Lowe, I went to the local fly fishing club, this particular one, 35 years ago, saw Tom Lowe speak. It just changed my life. I knew at that point fly fishing was going to be part of my destiny. And so between hiring guides, Simon Gosworth of Farbank, watching his casting lessons on YouTube. By the way, he's the nicest guy in the world, too.
I don't think I've met him.
And then hiring guides, YouTube, local fly club.
Yeah.
If you want to get into it, that's the way to get into
it. Good advice, yeah. Good advice.
My mission these days is getting diversity in the club. And that's not ethnic, females, kids, getting kids into the wilderness. We learn so much about the wilderness when we spend time with it. And I just feel like the generation behind me doesn't even let their kids go to a park. They're afraid. They're afraid for their kids to go to a park.
It's sad.
Yeah.
They let them go outside some places.
Yeah. I think we learn a lot from the wilderness. That's my thing. That's my mission. Good. Get them off the Xbox and into the wilderness.
Get outside.
Every kid loves to fish, at least boys. Plenty of girls too.
They do too.
Funny thing about the San Diego Club, some of the absolute experts in the San Diego Fly Fishing Club are females, especially in lake fishing, bass fishing.
Oh, interesting.
Absolute experts. I learned how to fish bass, fly fish bass, from a group of females. I call them the queens of Barrett. Do you know Lake Barrett? Lake Barrett's this special.
I've heard of it.
It's been on every fly fishing magazine, every fly fishing show. To get access to Barrett is a Ticketmaster thing.
Oh, wow.
And it's like getting Led Zeppelin reunion tickets to get a ticket to this short season. It's just a magical. Anyways, I learned how to fish that lake from 2 or 3 females. It's just wildly helpful.
That's cool.
Yeah. The other thing about the San Diego Fly Fishing Club is we have a significant amount of people who have been fly fishing their entire life and have never fished for trout.
Wow.
Just think that through. They're all saltwater fishermen, or fishers, I should say. All saltwater fishers.
Interesting.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think saltwater fishing, some of the, with fly gear, is some of the funnest you've ever had. I love it.
That's how I met your prior guest, Zobi. He read He read a piece that I wrote on this annual trip. We'd go down to the mangroves in Baja, and we stick them.
Yeah.
And he, believe it or not, he reached out to me, and I thought, oh, God, this guy from Casper, Wyoming's going to make it all the way to Baja. There's no way. But he did. He showed up.
He goes down there a lot, he says. Yeah.
We've been friends ever since. He's a generally great guy. Yeah.
I have a good buddy who lives in Loreto these days. It's a fabulous spot.
I remember you saying that.
One of my dreams to do that, but I'm not football of all. So as we wrap up here, one of the things that I saw in somewhere in the research I was doing on you was you said you've never met a bar you didn't like.
I'm one of the few people who isn't taboo about drinking. That's another thing.
I have a lot of friends like that, so I'm not surprised at that. All those outdoor people, that's the thing.
Drinking is so taboo in some demographic.
Oh, yeah. I see that. It's a lot of people.
I often say that to freak people out. And my other joke is I'm a Catholic, so I've never a cocktail.
There you go.
I say that out of jest. I do drink, and I guess I'm proud of that I invented the Kern River cocktail, which is river water and Jack Daniels.
Oh, I didn't know you
Filtered.
invented that. Right.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you invented that though,
filtered
but
through
I'll
the
give it to you.
gated in.
Yeah,
Filtered
yeah.
through the gated in. River water and Jack Daniels.
We've
Yeah.
had that on the lower current. That river water and anything, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a great pain relieving substance for us old people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to say to or ask of our listeners?
Thanks. Keep it going, Rick. Love your podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, it's fun.
I know a ton of people you need that are much more interesting than me. So
Send them my way. Send them
Yeah.
my way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do one every week, so I got to keep the coffers
Okay,
flowing.
I know a ton of people that would love to be on this podcast.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Lifestyle Podcast. Be sure to visit our website, ricksays.com, where you'll find show notes and links to everything we talked about and more. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, give us a rating on Apple Podcast or spread the word and tell a friend. That would really help us out too. Be sure to tune in every week, and thanks again for listening to the Outdoor Adventure Lifestyle Podcast.